Okay, so getting back into our coverage over the cosmic side of Marvel Comics, I kind of want to jump into Fantastic Four issue number 65. Now, guys, I understand that you want to see me cover all these different things when it comes to the cosmic side of Marvel Comics, but the thing is, we got to take things a tad bit slow because when it came to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, really the early days of Marvel Comics, their main goal was to use the Fantastic Four at first to explore the idea of the cosmic side of Marvel Comics. Now, other characters did as well, but Fantastic Four, they were the main ones being used to kind of explore this other side of comics. But also, I kind of like the idea of covering this issue because this is the first time we kind of dive into the character known as Ronan the Accuser. And he was a major character in Marvel Comics for me personally over the years, my days reading Marvel. Now, he kind of fell in the background, but he's still somewhat important when it comes to the cosmic side of things of Marvel. And so I kind of want to go ahead and cover this issue because it really brings him into the world of Marvel. But this is also the first appearance of the Supreme Intelligence. Now, the Supreme Intelligence in the early days of Marvel Comics, we don't really get the chance to learn much about this character. As a matter of fact, all we know is that it does seem to be the person in charge of the Kree alien race. Now, over time, we do learn more about this character, but we see the character being able to tap into the mind of our heroes. And the reason why, because in the earlier storyline, you had the Fantastic Four take out a Sentry, a robot that belongs to the Kree. And so right now, it's kind of Supreme Intelligence saying, you're on trial. I'm going to send somebody over known as Ronan the Accuser, who will then judge you. But I feel like as I went through your minds, there's no doubt that you are guilty for the crimes that you had committed to the Kree alien race. Now, for the Fantastic Four, they were asleep when it came to the Supreme Intelligence going into their minds to give them his warning. And so once you do have our heroes wake up, they all kind of realize they all had the same dream. And that right there made no sense at all. But that does scare Susan Storm because for her, yes, she is a hero, but we can kind of tell that in the early days of the Fantastic Four, she does not want to be part of the team in that type of way. She wants to be a stay-at-home wife and not deal with the fact that Earth dying every single day. And so it's Reed trying his best to calm her down, saying, you know what? We do need a break. Why don't you go ahead, buy a few clothes, and you and I can have dinner together because you deserve a break. Because honestly, being on this team is pretty stressful. But while you have our heroes believe they have the ability to kind of go on with their lives, they don't realize that Ronan the Accuser is coming. And matter of fact, he's already here. He arrives on Earth and he goes ahead and sets up this area to kind of make sure that while he's trying to figure out if the Fantastic Four are guilty for the crimes they had committed towards the Kree race, he wants to make sure the entire session is uninterrupted. And so now it's time for him to go find the Fantastic Four. But yes, it is the Fantastic Four trying to, go on with their lives. Like, for example, you do have Ben Grimm wanting to just relax, right? He's kind of like, man, I have some time to kill before I have to go see my girlfriend, so I'm going to sit here and just read the paper. For Johnny Storm, it's the idea of picking up his ride from the shop and go pick up his girlfriend, Crystal. And while you have those two guys doing their thing, well, for Reed and Sue, they're going out on a date. So it's kind of like, okay, cool. Maybe, just maybe, they might get some time themselves before things pop off. No, because right when you have Reed and Sue sit down at the restaurant that Reed had picked up for their date night, well, Reed and Sue are just teleported away. And the same thing goes for Johnny and also for Ben Grimm as well, as they also try to just live out a quiet day in their lives. Well, just like that, they both disappear in smoke because now it's time for Ronan the Accuser to figure out if our heroes were guilty for the crimes they had committed against the Kree. Now, like I said, this is the early days of Marvel, so unfortunately, when it came to Stan Lee and also Jack Kirby, they weren't really able to kind of explain everything going on with this character, like his powers, his weapons. All we know here is that his weapon has the ability to stop Ben Grimm right in his tracks. So when you have been kind of like, hey, I don't know who you are, I want to fight you, you have Ronan say, no, you will not get near me at all. Now you have Johnny also try to step in and help out, but Johnny is also taken out in a matter of seconds as well. So just like that, the two big hitters for the team are officially off the board. Now you do have Reed and Sue also trying to get involved, but with that weapon in Ronan's hands, they're unable to do anything at all. As a matter of fact, you didn't have Ronan being able to change the outfits of our heroes into their uniforms. But it's also Ronan saying here, like, I'm declaring that you guys are guilty. Now, this is going to be a short video, unfortunately, but when it comes to the end of this storyline, it's really more of us now seeing our heroes just trying their best to fight against Ronan, and he's being able to hold his own against the entire team. But you didn't have Ben Grimm being able to grab Ronan and make him fall right on top of his weapon, right when you had Ronan try to use the weapon on our heroes after declaring that they are guilty. And so once you do have his universal weapon fire, well, Ronan and the whole surrounding area they were trapped inside of disappears just like that. And so there's no longer Ronan, but you have Reed realize that this is not going to be the last time the Kree will come over to Earth. That matter of fact, he does expect to see the Kree over and over again to get back at them, but also the rest of the human race as well. And so this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.